Professional. Lately, many people throw this word around left and right. It has taken on a meaning as if you are capable of earning at least something thanks to your skills, you can proudly call yourself a professional. As if a miserable sum of money is capable of giving you some kind of special status. Even if your working routine consists of sitting in an office in front of a computer and your best achievement is a record in solitaire. But if someone asks you, you can proudly answer, I am a professional office worker. The main thing Tanya did in her first life was to get rid of such professionals, because a staff of free riders is the main evil in any corporation. She had her own criteria for selecting professionals, and only those she saw going above and beyond to master the working science did she extend a helping hand to. It was the same in her second life, especially when she was forming a special-purpose combat magic wing. To do this, she even went so far as to completely reform the Empire's mage training program. And only after time, passing through fire and water, shedding blood and sweat, did they achieve results. That's when the best of the best appeared, the elite. Only those who are ready to go through hell for results deserved to be proudly called professionals. Naturally, she was no exception. She was always maximally strict with herself and gave no allowances. She always worked for the best possible result, and if it meant risking her own neck for the sake of it, as it was on the front line, she went for it. Because she knew perfectly well this is the only path if she wants to build an impressive career. Of course, nothing has changed in this life, even despite the fact that her job now is to be an idol. Come on, sweetie, turn like this. Tanya turned, forcefully gritting her teeth. Only a smile was reflected on her face. Excellent, sweetie, excellent. And now, place your little foot here. Dazzling flashes of the camera followed. Struggling to overcome herself, she moved her foot to the side, face mask. Oh, wonderful, sweetheart. Just what we need. And now, raise your hands slightly like this. The maestro showed by example. Even seeing it with her own eyes, Tanya suppressed the urge to vomit and, maintaining a professional smile, carried out the instruction. Oh, wonderful! Simply super! Oh yes, sweetie, this will be a bomb! The photographer's eyes burned in ecstasy. And now, doll, strike this pose, as if you were slightly lowering your sweet little head in embarrassment. Blood rushed to her head, but Tanya continued to maintain the smile, despite her hands reflexively clenching into fists. Oh yes, sweetie, what an expression! That's what I wanted to see. What a beautiful shade of a blushing face that you are so desperately trying to hide. Your fans will be thrilled. You are godlike, darling. The breathing of this pervert quickened. She really wanted to smear this ghoul's face against the wall in the fit of this embarrassment urge, but she professionally held back any emotional outbursts. Oh, yes, sweetheart. How magnificent you are. The maestro was about to drool from excitement, but Tanya's face did not change, even if it required killing herself. Finally, the maestro removed the ominous device from her eyes, just in time because Tanya was already wanting to wipe him off the face of the earth, no less than being X. Phew, finally. I swear, a little more and not even the special bonuses for this photo shoot would have saved him. She had been posing for him for the second hour now. Superb, sweetheart. You can go change. This addict announced, still in ecstasy. Tanya sighed of relief and headed to the dressing room. Let him dare to suggest something similar again. What did he make her wear? Some gothic Lolita-style dress with a bunch of frills and ruffles? Only she saw it, the first thing she wanted to do was shoot the designer. Oh, being X, She had only experienced something similar once in her past life, when she was forced to participate in a photo shoot for propaganda. How many nerves it cost her. But now she enjoys it almost every day. Ah, yes, dear. Since we had such a wonderful session, next time change into this. I'm sure the fans will be shocked. He thrust a fashion magazine in her face. The picture was of a swimsuit. That's a bikini. Tanya's hand unconsciously reached for his throat. The pathetic life of this pervert was saved only by bang! The door burst open with a crash into the studio. The ubiquitous terror of the universe's villains rushed in like a whirlwind. The one and only magical girl of this world. Here's Levy Chen. The beautiful magical girl has come to check if everything is all right with her faithful partner, Ta Chen. The moment Tanya saw this creature, she reflexively darted to the side, literally vanishing from the sight of ordinary people. Had it been the partridge girl she met recently, she wouldn't have even noticed her. She wouldn't have even had time to react, similar to how Tanya left her without hands. Why did Tanya react like that? Because, Chan, Ta-chan, you're such a shy little thing. Come here, cutie. Despite all her efforts, the magical girl's voice sounded right by her ear. Danya was not saved by her battle-honed reaction speed from the front line, nor her small, compact body, nor her boosted agility with the cheat-like system of Big Brother Y. The truth was, she still didn't understand how such a creature could even exist in this world. V. Tanya found it hard to breathe as she was completely squeezed between the natural artillery installations of this magical girl. How are you, Ta-chan? Are you coping? Are they not bullying you? Just say the word and Levy-chan will turn all the bullies into Ash-chan. From the outside, this would sound like a joke. But what was frightening was that Tanya knew perfectly well that she was completely serious. Oh, I just noticed you are such a cutie, Chan. Your new style, right? He, it suits you perfectly, Chan. Ha, ha. Tanya struggled to escape her grip. Levi-sama, could you please not suffocate me like that? She looked at the girl with a pretty appearance. Her black hair, braided into 2 pigtails, reached her waist, and her impressive chest was very soft to the touch, which Tanya had personally experienced. She was also wearing a magical girl costume, making her look exactly like a character from some anime. She always appeared like a jack-in-the-box and did whatever she wanted. But Tanya could not complain. She had to tolerate a business partner, especially such an influential one. Now, we are close friends, Ta-chan, so you should only address me as Levy-chan, and certainly no formalities. Her tone became slightly serious. All right, I see you've finished. Let's go aside. We need to discuss something. I look forward to next time, Tanya-chan. The maestro exclaimed one last time. Tanya looked at him with a steady gaze, the same way she had looked at the remnants of the Imperial Front's ashes many times. Perhaps next time would be his last. They headed to the dressing room. When she was alone, the staff went about their business, paying her no attention. But now, seeing Levy-chen, everyone was bowing before her and addressing her with great respect. No wonder, because Levy-chen is actually such a big shot here that even people from the board of directors hang on her every word. Although Tanya hadn't found out exactly who she was, despite the fact that she owed her 80% of the success she currently has as an idol. They entered the dressing room. Ani-san, you were wonderful today. What an astonishing session. You were a goddess. Her incompetent manager, a bald giant, began showering her with compliments, which Tanya heard nothing more than mockery. Suddenly, he started choking and bent double. No surprise, because Tanya's kick had accurately landed in the gut of this misunderstanding. Too cruel? Inhumane? Not at all. Thank you, Ani-san. The misunderstanding broke into a smile. Always happy to be of service. Damn pervert.
Tanya had her own people whom she had found and cultivated herself, just like in the Empire when she was gathering her battalion. But now everything was different. She had to act independently, and in many ways, she didn't have the luxury of choosing the raw materials, so to speak. And although she trained them properly, investing all her experience and skills to cultivate the best human resources from them, well, it turned out the way it turned out. Tanya grimaced with disgust, took out disinfectant from her handbag, dabbed a cloth, and wiped the shoe that had earlier imprinted itself on the misunderstanding's stomach. Tanya leaned back in her chair. Lately, Tanya had begun to ponder her fate, especially concerning one specific turn of it. It seems she is starting to develop an allergy to perverts. However, her thoughts on the meaning of life were interrupted by a familiar sensation of softness and resiliency around her head. Now, the elusive magical girl made an approach from above, hugging her from behind. A cheerful voice rang out, "Well, Ta-Chen, have you thought about my proposal yet?" A proposal? Well, that's quite a proposal. If she had her way, she'd shove it in the toilet tank and flush it. But no, Levy-chan is too special a person for her to do that. Levy-chan, is it necessary? Tanya lowered her eyes, adding a note of embarrassment and innocence to her voice. Now. No need to make innocent eyes at Levy-chan. It doesn't work on Levy-chan. However, her heavy breathing was suspicious. It will be beneficial for you, too. Haven't you forgotten what I'm offering? She whispered in her ear. What was she supposed to do with her? She couldn't just brush her off, but her proposal really was tempting. Only what sacrifices would she have to make? Tsk. Tanya clicked her tongue. Give me a little more time to think, Levy-chan. How indecisive we are, but that's all your charm. That's exactly how Ta-Chan should be. Finally, Levy-chan detached and headed for the dressing room exit. Oh, yes, I agree to your conditions. That can be arranged. She gave a sly wink and disappeared. Tanya remained staring silently at the door. So that's why she came? You've got to be kidding me. Tanya had set special conditions for her proposal. She couldn't refuse directly, as the other girl was too important to her as a business partner. The conditions were such that, under normal circumstances, if it were a regular manager, fulfillment would be impossible. She'd be chased out herself. But this was Levy-chan. She had to act differently with her. But who would have thought she would agree? Damn, she is the devil herself. She grabbed her head and buried her face in her palms. For the first time in a long time, she wanted to cry. Because she was about to...
The sun had set. Streetlights dimly illuminated the streets. Tanya left the building and took a breath of the evening air. It would be summer soon, but the evenings were still a bit chilly. She shivered, took out her phone, and wanted to call a taxi. However, it squeaked annoyingly and the screen went dark. The battery was dead. Well, I don't care. Tanya tossed it into her handbag and walked on foot. A walk and a breath of fresh evening air is also useful, especially when so much has fallen on her. It might clear her head. Otherwise, she feels like climbing the walls because of this crowd of perverts. She had sent her incompetent manager on his way. She couldn't tolerate him anymore. Yoshi was also at the base now, with his own tasks. Things were slowly moving forward. The recent clash with the mutant beetle and the partridge girl was a good start. She could dig from that. Too bad she couldn't get any information. Oh well, for some reason she was sure that another chance would present itself. In any case, events were spiraling and her everyday life was fading away. Everyday life, huh? She wondered how much longer she could maintain this illusion of ordinary everyday life. She probably didn't have much time left. She had planned to disappear from home after graduation, but she might not even last that long. Something is starting and she couldn't involve her new family. Family? How unfamiliar that sounds to her. In her previous world, she was an orphan, looked after by the nuns of the monastery. After that, it was commanders, superiors, hardly something one could call a family. Something similar happened in her first life. Although she formerly had a family, it felt like they were playing some kind of performance where each of them played their role. In fact, that's why she is so quick to adapt to a situation. Because society might change, but the rules of the game remain the same. She just continues to play her role and do what she must. That's all. However, this time something has changed. She had never had a family like this. Since childhood, she had been surrounded by affection and care. Everyone fussed around her as if she were some kind of princess. True, this sometimes interfered with her plans, but it was still not the most unpleasant feeling. At the same time, they gave her complete freedom of action, which allowed her to implement everything she planned. And generally, leisure time with them, that was a new feeling. Probably that's what a normal family looks like, although she's not sure about her brother. And no, she wasn't talking about that idiot somewhere in another dimension, Big Brother Pervert E. She was talking about her other brother, this time her biological brother, though also a pervert. Is she just that lucky? Well, okay, adolescence, attraction to the opposite sex, she understands that. She had it too in her first life, but somehow his went with a clear excess. And where did she lose him? She wanted to do a good deed, to raise him into a worthy member of society, a quality human resource. She wanted to express her gratitude to her new family this way. But something went wrong. Tanya turned into a nearby park and walked straight through the center. The cool air cleared her mind well. Her brother was too obsessed with the opposite sex. All his thoughts were only about what was under skirts and behind bras. Even at school, he earned a nickname alongside his friends, the Pervert Trio. And they do such things. Even for her, it's getting hard to bail him out every time. Yet, he can if he wants to. Somehow, he managed to get into Kuo High School, the same place she applied to. Although she gave the chances of that happening no more than 10%, he somehow managed. He was just brimming with enthusiasm then. By the way, something else extraordinary happened this time, just a miracle. He actually got a girlfriend. Unthinkable. According to Tanya's predictions, the chance of this was no more than being X kicking the bucket without her involvement. What a strange life. A strange world. Warning: you have entered a rank F dungeon. The local space within 1 kilometer radius is isolated from the outside world. Suddenly, a familiar sign popped up in front of Tanya.
What is this? A dungeon? Here?
Tanya stopped and listened. Dead silence. Something was clearly happening. Danger was radiating. Buzz. Familiar vibrational sounds came from somewhere nearby. A bad premonition gripped her. Determining the direction, Tanya rushed towards it. As soon as she burst into the fountain square, a strange picture appeared before her. The very familiar partridge girl with black wings and a light spear in her hands. Oh, she threw it. Is there someone else there? Tanya intensified her magical vision and looked closer. The spear struck the victim in the stomach. He fell to his knees and lifted his head. What the? Tanya was speechless when she saw the familiar face. What the hell is going on here? Right before her eyes, a hole was made in her brother. Moreover, the one who did it, his so-called girlfriend? Tanya immediately leapt out of the bushes. Her hand plunged into the space nearby, and she pulled out a pistol. An American-made FNS. A magical formula flashed in her head, an enchantment fell upon the cartridge, and a bullet, blazing with energy, flew towards the feathered beast. Bang, bang, bang. Get away from him. Gunshots rang out in the square, but that bitch felt something and managed to move aside. Tanya didn't hit her head, but... Painful. What the hell? She at least shot her shoulder. Now blood was streaming from her. She glanced back. Who are you? Do you even know who you're dealing with? She began to create a second light spear. Bang, bang, bang. Tanya wasn't going to give her time to do anything else. The bullets hit the spear exactly, and it shattered into pieces of light energy. Bang, bang, bang. Another bullet hit the second shoulder. Must finish her off. Tanya, reinforcing her body with magical energy, rushed towards her in close proximity. Fine, I'll leave this time, but I've got my eye on you. You won't live, she hissed. Suddenly, behind her, the space rippled and she vanished. What the hell is going on here? Tanya froze in place. What kind of magic was that just now? Teleportation? Seriously? This is unbelievable. She had never seen such magic before. Now Tanya wanted twice as much to know who these feathered scum were. However, this was not the time. Tanya rushed to her brother. He had a healthy hole in his stomach and blood was flowing like a river. Damn it! Appraisal. Status. Name, Hyodo Issei. Age, 17. Race, human. Status, novice pervert. Evolutionary index, F. Level, 10. Characteristics, strength, 3. Agility, 4. Stamina, 3. Achievements, pervert, 1. Stepping onto this path, the user opens up to the world and the world opens up to him. Strange events will occur periodically. Brave heart, 1. In critical situations, the probability of awakening hidden powers is increased. Effects, bleeding, loss of life force level 3. Near death, internal organ damage level 3. Tanya immediately assessed the situation. She had seen everything on the battlefield in her past life, and what she was seeing now, she did not like at all. The system confirmed it. Bad, bad, bad. Tanya began concentrating magical energy on the wound, trying to stop the blood. Hold on. You don't dare die, you hear? I haven't made a proper human resource out of you yet. At first, everything worked, but suddenly, all the energy began to drain away somewhere like into a bottomless pit. No matter how much she poured into it, it wasn't enough. Tanya could only increase the flow. For a moment, it seemed to her that his body, especially his left arm, glowed slightly with the red light. Only after pouring 3/4 of her boosted reserve did she manage to stop the blood. The glow also disappeared. What is going on here? Tanya breathed heavily. She wiped the sweat from her face. Brother, how did you harass her so much that she decided to kill you on the spot? I warned you. Moving him was obviously dangerous. She needed to call an ambulance. The main thing was to support his life. And after that, there were ways. Tanya was determined to do everything possible to pull him back from the grave, even if she had to seek help from various supernatural riffraff. She reached for her phone, took it out, but it delighted her with a dark screen. Tanya clicked her tongue, rummaged through her brother's pockets, but there was only some paper and the shards of a cell phone. Lucky her. She threw away the trash. All right, the barrier is still up. I won't touch it. I'll go get a phone now, and you wait here. She saw him writhing in pain and wasn't sure if he heard her. Wait here. I'll be right back. You don't dare die on me. Otherwise, I'll showcase your point collection to everyone at the funeral. Got it? And if you die, you'll never touch real boobs in your life. Tanya rushed towards the road. She found a random passerby, simply knocked him out, and took his phone. After which, she instantly returned to the spot. But her brother was nowhere to be found. Empty. The barrier had also disappeared. Tanya stared blankly at the place where her brother had just been lying, choking on his own blood. And what the hell? Couldn't understand a damn thing.